Hey, this is Notser, and today we're talking about your team's just utterly failing at defending. And how do you address this failure? I'm in the Yamato, I'm a great big battleship, I'm all the way on the northeast side of the map, and you could probably imagine what's going to happen. It's a standard battle. Defense is going to fail, so at some point, the enemy's going to have the chance to capture our base. And you would think, oh, it's so obvious that that window is going to be open. But it's not. It's not obvious to the average player. I want to make it more obvious. That's the goal of this game. Share it, talk about it, and try and prevent it. Because I'm sure everyone's been a part of a game like this. You, in whatever ship you're sailing, you're going out on the map and you're trying to help your team win. You're trying to get any advantage you can. In this instance, I'm trying to take out this enemy Worcester. It's got radar, high explosive, armor piercing. It's got great utility. Let's get it out of the match. Now, we did a great big butter broadside, but not enough on the second broadside. We don't even get up. We got 3 overpen. We didn't even get a single citadel. But there is trouble, and Friendly Montana is able to finish off the target. Trouble in the form of 2 DDs. And I don't want to deal with 2 DDs. They most likely have torpedoes. Most likely I would take a ton of torpedoes, and most likely I would die. So, turning as fast as possible back towards the island, I'm hoping that the time it takes for the torpedoes to get out and damage my ship, it can't occur as long as I commit to turning back. One of the enemy DDs, however, used his smoke cloud, and it prevented line of sight. We fortunately avoid a torpedo send. The island's definitely going to protect us from any more in this direction, but something used smoke. I'm going to assume the lightning, because I believe the Yamato. I think we caught sight of the Fletcher using smoke early on to try and keep the Worcester up. It didn't work out, and that's great. Now, a couple of my teammates are trying to capture the enemy base, and that's great for my team. However, this is going to cause a base race. And a base race is not an ideal situation to be in when you're in a battleship. Because I can't get back. Look how far away from my base I am right now. I'm looking to maybe get a broadside on the Alsace, maybe one of the enemy DDs. I know they're there. A couple of the enemies are in the process of defending. And we do look like we get full broadside Alsace. This should be an easy kill. Shouldn't have any issue with this whatsoever. Yes, there we go. Alsace gone. And someone sent torpedoes forward of my position. And it does look like double set, so that's good. Whoever happens to be in this position, they used both their torpedoes. So if I can just, turn back, rely on my teammates, I should be pretty good. Note that the enemy team has successfully defended their base. The friendlies that are trying to capture, it's being disrupted, and they're honestly spotted. Look at our base. Our base is in the process of being captured. And we've got not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but we have 5 ships or so that are within a square of the base. Keep that in mind. Look at the capture. It's so obvious that something's wrong with our base. And yet, clearly, friendly battleships, friendly cruisers, they don't care. They don't care enough to at least call out that the base needs to be defended, or to suggest that they're eventually going to work their way over to it. Oh no. Oh no. They are followers. They are not leading in their decision making. And you don't need to be someone who is, played the game a million times. You just need to recognize how you win or lose a game. And one of the criteria is base defense. That's kind of important, guys. So I was just really disappointed by my team's lack of awareness, lack of enthusiasm to go back and defend. A lot of these players are just calling out that the base needs to be defended, or that someone has to, and yet nobody has turned back to defend. Maybe the friendly Des Moines, maybe a friendly DD, but look at all these battleships. They are sailing the direct opposite way of the base, and there's no reason for that. They could easily break off, head north, minimize the number of targets that could engage them, and then double back and go towards the base. And yet they are refusing to do that. They're just sailing towards their team as if that's an acceptable outcome when there is nobody defending the base. Not a single ship is defending the base. What was the solution, guys? Was this just going to be like, oh, we lost it again, my team sucks, I'm clearly not the problem? There's not a single person on my team that can say that. There's not a single person on my team that can't say that. I'm even contributing to the problem because I'm a battleship and I was pushing forward and maybe they were following me. But the second they saw a Yamato frantically defend the base, defend, it shouldn't take any more thought. This is basic stuff, guys. And maybe you would never make this mistake, but you've clearly been in a game where most of your team has, right? This is more rampant than it should be. Defend the base. You can't win if they capture the base. And you can't defend if you don't actually go back towards the base. I hope that these are very simple concepts, but this game would suggest otherwise. My team just, for whatever reason, not my problem. La 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 la. It's someone else's problem to deal with. And you know what? I deal with a lot of problems. I don't like dealing with problems that are so easily addressable by every single person in the game. But you know what? I'll show up. I'll try and defend. We've got incoming torpedoes. Looks like 15, so guess what? Shimakaze is the culprit for this capture. I take multiple torpedoes. I don't have a choice. I have to get this guy out of the capture point. Until I see him visually and he takes damage and reduces the capture, the threat is still very real. This is not done yet. So I'm just going to continue to sail through the capture with my aircraft up, hoping that we spot him. It's going to force out maybe smoke from the enemy. He's trying to reduce the time that he's spotted. Hopefully his teammates can take me out. And by the time they take me out, none of my friendlies will be in position to continue to contest the capture. That's obviously their goal. And my goal is the opposite. Survive as long as I can until I can verify the location of the enemy, which they provide smoke. Very easy to know exactly where the enemy is. So we're just going to sail directly towards the smoke. I'm hoping to spot him. I'm hoping to force him out of the smoke, force him out of the capture, and eventually win the game. This is a huge attack that is hopefully not going to be successful at this point, but you never know. We've got enemy torpedoes incoming. This is a Shima. Ooh, we get a nice citadel from the front. It's nice. Should wipe out the Montana, but I'm absolutely going to take a torpedo right on the nose. Unprotected. Full flood, use my heal, attempting to stop it. We've got 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Of course, the Shima dumps another 1,500 or so damage into my superstructure, which doesn't give me enough to use damage control, and we die. Friendly Asashio is able to disrupt the Shima. Unfortunately, the friendly Asashio doesn't care about torpedoes, and he dies. But friendlies are able to finally kill the Shima, defend the base, and we should win this game. But it shouldn't have been this close. It shouldn't have been this close at all. If we would have had just a little bit of teamwork, it would have been a lot easier. And that's the takeaway. Guys, stop it. Stop playing for yourself only. If your success aligns very well with the team's success, that's great. That's how it should be. But please don't ignore the base capture like the teammates in this game did. You could have easily, double backed, taken this path through that island and back up here without showing too much side to the enemy, and yet they didn't, because they didn't even want to consider that. They wanted someone else to do that. That's the real truth of all of this. It's just like, asking for help when someone's sick. Most people don't want to volunteer any effort towards it, but it has to be done. That's the way I see this. Nobody wants to volunteer their life and their time to defending a base and keeping your team in the game, but it has to happen. And you know what? Just get it done if it has to happen. That's my philosophy, so I just hope that you guys have less interaction with this type of play. I feel like the game does a bad job of discouraging this type of play. It needs to be overly rewarding when it comes to base defense, team activity. I want more emphasis, Wargaming. It just feels like people are very comfortable farming their own damage, farming their own kills, and not caring at all. And I don't want that. There needs to be more, not less of that. And I don't know how to do that from my point of view. Other than making videos, showing you weird, quirky, dumb situations. I mean, honestly, it was a terrible game for me. I was sailing most of it, and I was absorbing damage. I was able to do some damage, though, towards the target, and, you know, that's fine. But I wouldn't say that this is going to end in a massive game for me, if for no other reason than the defense potential. And just, we need to highlight it more, Wargaming. I would really like that to be rewarded, so we don't have situations like this. It's just too universal. I play too many games every single day where my team refuses to do anything for the team, and it's me, 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 me. All about my damage, my kills, my ribbons, my achievements. Now, this Richelieu versus this Conqueror, it's gotta be a ram, right? The Richelieu has to ram the Conqueror. What else would you do? And yet, that's not what he's gonna do. The Richelieu is going to do the worst of everything. He fires his 8 380mm guns into the top of the hull, into the top of the superstructure, or the bottom of the superstructure. Instead, he just failed, and someone else is going to take the kill. But learn from this. Defend your base. Be a good teammate. And hopefully you'll win more games than you lose. I hope you enjoyed this for no other reason than the ridiculousness of the situation. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.